With recent advancements in genetic engineering, the reality of creating your ideal baby is closer than ever before, if you wish.
We talked about how the fifth generation of wireless technology, or 5G as it's being rolled out worldwide without safety testing. Let me say that again, without safety testing. And how we've got scientists and doctors and environmental organizers saying, stop this. Because in terms of the effects of wireless radiation, the science is in. Wireless radiation can lead to cancerous heart tumors, brain tumors, DNA damage. Wireless radiation is linked to infertility, to autism, Alzheimer's, and more. And guess what? All the effects that I just listed, those are some of the effects that are known according to the technology that's being seen today.
Generation of wireless network is just around the corner. 5G wireless service, which provides connection speeds up to 10 times as fast as the speediest home broadband service, is expected to see a wide rollout in 2020.
So the rollout is kind of like every new technology, it's in phases.
Okay. So what companies are going to be benefiting the most from 5G then?
Well, we see a spectrum of industries. The most immediate right now would be sports. So 5G broadcasts on what they call a millimeter wave, meaning it's higher density, meaning more information, but in a shorter, literally a shorter wave, which means that the rollout will take a little bit of time, but you'll start to see the benefits in places like, say, football stadiums or places where you have a highly dense or just a lot of people in one place.
Right.
Those places and those industries, so concerts, any place you have a lot of people, you'll see a lot of 5G benefit.
Where normally you'd see your sort of Wi-Fi slow down when everyone's on the phone at the same time. You don't see that slowdown. It seems like, or how does the U.S. compare to other countries when it comes to 5G rollout? It seems like we're lagging behind a little.
Well, again, that comes down to population density in many cases. Look, there is a large technology hurdle that many of these companies are working to overcome, but a lot of that technology hurdle is kind of a geographical hurdle. The U.S. is just a big country. So in some place like New York, where we are right now, it would be easier because there are simply more people and more buildings to put transmitters on. But where I come from, South Dakota, in the rural places, it might be harder simply because there are not as many people and there is not as many things to put things on.
Okay.
They can't take into consideration the health concerns of the citizen because some act of parliament says that they can't. It is absolutely outrageous what they're going to do next. Bring an act of parliament out so they can stab you in the throat, so they can poke your eyes out, pull your tongue out and cut it out. Is that the next act of parliament? Because it's no different putting a transmitter outside somebody's home that's going to cause them brain injury and death. Genocide is a crime. Why would a councillor think that committing genocide is something that they can acquiesce to because an act of parliament says that they can't take into consideration health effects that cause genocide. Genocide is what is caused by microwave radiation, causes neurological disorders, sterilisation and death. What sort of clowns, what sort of criminals have we got in these councils? Do the words just come out of their mouth but nothing out of their brain? Do they understand the threat that they pose to themselves from arrest, from the citizen, from the subject? Because unfortunately, did nobody tell them about the law? Did nobody tell them about in British constitutional law? It is we that have the power, not some muppet who likes to shine his polished buttons. Button polisher. We have the power. We make the arrest.
While controversial technology could help prevent a baby of having certain genetic defects, critics are saying the implications could have a far worse effect on society. RT's Trinity Chavez brings us the story.
If you're a potential parent planning on having a baby, you might be able to use genetic testing to choose your child in what some are calling a designer baby. But as technology advances, soon parents might even be able to choose embryos based on what sort of hair color or eye color they want their child to have, sparking both moral and ethical concerns. Prospective parents already use DNA testing to check for potential genetic abnormalities that could lead to serious conditions. While critics say the manipulation of DNA poses huge ethical and moral concerns, the method is garnering the support of lawmakers and medical experts. Dr. James A. Grifo of NYU Langone Hospital told RT, "Please imagine yourself carrying a gene mutation that has caused your baby to have a horrible disease and has caused your family a great deal of suffering. Then imagine the treatment for this being described as designer babies by people who have never had that experience. Perhaps some empathy for those poor suffering patients and for those of us who struggle to help them could result in a better description of what we are doing rather than some theoretical misuse of the technology that we are developing." In July, the UK Ethics Council calling the practice morally permissible as long as it's in the best interest of the child. But as technology advances, others worry that we may be able to also learn about characteristics that have less bearing on the future health of the child and more on the physical and intellectual traits.
You also get into issues like, is it ethical to want a child with blonde hair, blue eyes? Maybe not. Is it ethical to want a girl over a boy? Is it ethical to want somebody taller versus somebody shorter? You know, and so, but the list can keep going on and on and on. So where do you draw that line?
For more than 2 millennia, the Star of Bethlehem, better known as the Christmas star, has been fascinating astronomers. Experts have even been speculating about the cause of the star for centuries, trying to figure out exactly what it is and if it even really exists. But now one researcher is sharing possible explanations for the mysterious astronomical wonder. The Star of Bethlehem is mentioned in St. Matthew's Gospel and is one of the main symbols associated with the birth of Jesus. But it is also an inexhaustible subject of debate as a scientific phenomenon as to what is really going on in the sky that led a group of men to travel for 8 to 10 months toward the town of Bethlehem.
It's possible to use stars for navigation.
For centuries, the star has been the center of debate on whether or not a star actually appeared in the sky to lead the Magi to Bethlehem. But some believe that the symbol was nothing more than a literary device.
In ancient cultures, astronomy and astrology were typically tied. They were unified. The positions of stars and planets were kept track of, and there may have actually been a particular planetary alignment that meant that there would be a birth of a king.
While there is still a lack of documentation, records about astronomical events like this one actually do exist.
A lot of astronomers who want to look at ancient astronomical events typically refer to Chinese recordings. Just to be clear, it's not only Chinese recordings. There are also, for example, Arabian recordings that keep track of these ancient events.
And while some researchers say that if it actually did exist, the Star of Bethlehem was a comet, a supernova, or a triple conjunction.
It's a triple conjunction, where there are two objects that meet up, whether it's a star and a planet or a planet or two planets aligning. It happens 3 times over the course of a short period of time.
After analyzing the data, Castillo says that he thinks that it could actually be a variable star.
Purely by chance, I've managed to track down 3 primary witnesses who reportedly saw the live alien.
Hello. It's James.
Obrigado. I'd like to start off by saying, but this is like, you know, the holy grail of witnesses for me. So I am like so happy to be here right now. Can you describe to us what happened in January of 1996?
Então, você pode descrever pra gente o que aconteceu em janeiro de 96?
A gente estava voltando do serviço que ela trabalhava.
So, it was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This was not the usual way that they would take to go back home.
E olhei, falei assim, só pra elas assim, gente, olha ali.
She saw a little creature that was really sweating. There was like a little person, but with no hair whatsoever, red eyes, and 3 horns. She pointed to the other girls and started running the other way.
If they all had the opportunity to speak to the world about their experience, what would they like the world to know?
Pra mim não foi boa, não. Se fosse pra me passar por isso hoje, eu não passaria.
They said it wasn't a good experience at all. If they could choose, they wouldn't go through it again. And only people who have been through what they have been through can tell how they felt and how it all affected their lives.
This new year, the sightings continue to grow of UFOs, but now there is this specific claim that is causing a frenzy.
There's been a recent spike in UFO sightings, but now some are reporting seeing snake-like cylindrical objects moving in the sky. One was even spotted over the state of New York.
It's the UFO there. Got it in the shot.
The past few months, people from all parts of the country have claimed that they have captured strange objects in the skies on camera. But there's a specific sighting that is causing a frenzy. Take a look. The video, first published on YouTube by the user Tales from Out There, shows a snake-like stream of light spiraling across the sky. The user also claims that they saw a red orb-type object being dropped from the triangular figure just before they started filming. However, this video has not been independently verified. According to the Daily Star, the snake-like so-called UFO has been seen across 8 states in the U.S. in 2019 alone.
It's going over the lake now.
However, skeptics say it could be anything from drones to satellite launches. Seeing flying objects in the skies these days has never been so common.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
Meantime, in September, the Navy confirmed UFO videos are real. In fact, the Navy was prompted to draft formal procedures for pilots and other personnel to document these encounters because of a recent uptick in strange sightings over the military airspace. Nick Carney is an ex-United States Marine Corps soldier who served in Afghanistan as an intel officer, said in a statement, "We have reports from various countries across the globe of witnesses seeing similar objects. For me, it indicates something potentially beyond a classified program. Because again, in the military community, you're only going to be testing those classified programs in certain areas." Now, the Defense Department has acknowledged that there used to be a secret program that looked into such sightings, but shut down in 2012 because of lack of funding.